That's why it's
They
good looking.
weren't bad-looking people.
No, this actually is this. No, that's Uncle. That's not Charles. That's,
Yes.
that's Uncle.
But you can see Charlie in Uncle Bill.
Can you?
Yes.
Who are?
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny at the funeral. At 10,000 feet, we found that there was a Spitfire. As the air gunner said, "You better get a move on, sir. He's coming up fast." So.
A Messerschmitt, Uncle.
A Messerschmitt 109.
Yeah.
And before he could get the words out of his mouth, the first trace of bullets and cannon shell came through the aircraft. He knocked him off his head pedestal and knocked the gun off his mounting, and came through and went through the front of the aircraft more or less. But it was like a tin of rusty nails being shaken up very rapidly. And so the pilot said, "Right, this is all happening in seconds, you know." And the pilot said, "Right, low level." So they put his nose right down. He tried to find some cloud cover, but there was none to be seen, because we might have evaded him through the clouds. But the clouds are so thin that he could see us all the time. So we were down. We went down to 6 feet, and lo and behold, for the next quarter of an hour we were hedge hopping, and every time we came up to go over a hedge we got a hail of bullets to us. And then towards the end, the canvas engine covers, which were in the bomb well, were smouldering, and there was smoke coming out. Then we hit a tree, and that put the port engine out. And so we were flying along on one engine and smoke coming out of the bomb well. So the pilot said, "Well, we can't retain height anyway. So from 6 feet to 0 feet was nothing, and 100 miles an hour to no miles an hour finished up in a crash." So we landed in the middle of a potato field. We must have dug up a few potatoes on the way, but we were only there for about 10 minutes and getting over the shock, because when you're in that situation, you're shocked. You don't know what to do. You can't think. And for about 5 minutes we were over there like that, and then the fighter pilot who shot us down came over and waved to us, and so we gave him 2 fingers, and he thought we were waving to him, but we weren't. And then 2 minutes later the Luftwaffe came along in their cars and picked us up. "For you, the war is over." And that was that.
Is that what they said?
That was it.
And they said it in English?
They said it in English, yes. It's amazing the number of people that can speak English in Germany. And, you know, they've probably taught this one phrase anyway during a war,
Yeah.
you know.
What plane were you flying, Uncle?
We were flying a Blenheim Mark I, which is a short-nosed Blenheim, which gave us 259 miles an hour at 13,000 feet. But it's not fast enough for a Messerschmitt, which can do 350 miles an hour, and has a cannon and 4 machine guns. All we had was 1 machine gun in the back, which was made US by the first burst. We had one Browning fixed in the wing, which he couldn't have used because he never got in front of us anyway. I had a very pistol, but I couldn't do much with that.
So then what happened? How long was
5
the
minutes.
car ride? 5 minutes to the camp?
Yeah, about 5 to 10 minutes. So as we were going along, we flew over 2 satellite airfields, all ready to go into Holland when the Blitz started. So, you know, if you fly over airfields like that, they follow you up in a car, no doubt. And it was only about 5 minutes before we took them. But we had some ersatz coffee. You may not know it, but the German coffee during the war was made from burnt acorns and not coffee beans, because they couldn't get any. So we had a drink of their coffee and some black bread, which I hated, because 25% of that was sawdust to give you roughage, and the airmen and the civilians were on the same diet. This black bread. There was no white bread around till later on in the war, anyway. So we had that there, and then they took us back to the headquarters in Munster. Now we'd almost flown over Munster, and there were 3 fighter squadrons there. So what could one Blenheim, one short-nosed Blenheim, flying over Germany, stand against the Luftwaffe of don't know how many aircraft, thousands of aircraft, just waiting for one Blenheim to fly over. So what chance had you got? And the intelligence we got at the beginning of the war was nil, because the intelligence officers were just education officers, civilian education officers, just brought in for the war, and they knew nothing. And the Met forecast was all wrong. No cloud about. They gave us a cloud cover of 10,000 feet, but there was none. So we had not a hope in hell.
So then, once you got to the camp, what did it look like?
Yes. No.
Do you want to take a pause here, Uncle?
I'd like a pause. I'd like a drink.